My name is Abdel bin Hassen. I am the chair of the board of the Arab Institute for Human Rights. I'm also the chair of the joint committee on relief to the refugees in the south of Tunisia, and this is a joint committee founded by the High Council for the realization of the objectives of the revolution in Tunisia. I am also a writer and poet. I'm a writer in the sense that I'm writing about political issues, human rights issues, but also cultural issues, about literature, and I published five poetry books. Some of them have been translated into French, German, and Italian. I think I began my work in the human rights field in 1990 when I joined the Arab Institute for Human Rights. But my interest in the human rights issues started in my first years at the university, when the political movement, students' political movement, was strong, and part of our discussions were about freedoms and human rights and democracy. I started with the Arab Institute in 1990, and I started by developing the communication strategies of this institute. Then I was in charge of the research activities and training activities, and this was for me an opportunity to train, I can say, thousands of young human rights activists from different Arab countries. It was for me the opportunity also to meet with human rights activists, to network with them, and to develop common strategy for the Arab human rights activists. At the Arab Institute also I was the director between 1997 and 2005. Then I joined the Ford Foundation in Egypt as a human rights program officer for the Middle East and North Africa. And at the foundation I enlarged my activities by developing field work with poor farmers in the south and upper Egypt, poor fishermen, with people work with quarry workers, and it was also an opportunity for me to bring the human rights discourse and practice to the daily life of poor people. We tried also to develop experiences on rights-based approach to development and how to empower people, poor people, to ask for their rights. These are mainly the very general steps of my experience with human rights. But in the last 20 years, I think I had the opportunity to meet with many human rights activists from over the world. I was also part of the foundation of many human rights organizations, regional and international networks. I was part of all the efforts, of all the preparatory efforts to organize the international conferences, world conferences, like, for example, the World Conference on Human Rights in Vienna. I was in charge of leading the Arab and African human rights organizations, and I was also part of the all the joint planning committees for the Durban Conference on racism, the Beijing Conference on Women's Rights, Cairo Conference on Population. I was part of all these efforts to bring the human rights issues from the Arab world and Africa to this international forum. I wrote about human rights, many articles. I did my thesis on the African Charter for Human Rights. I was part of the debates on how to bring human rights to the Arab political, social and cultural discourse. And I think that after all these activities, I think that now I can say that I'm part of a movement that went through many changes. First, we were, I think, part of all the efforts to introduce human rights concepts in the Arab countries. Then we moved to developing the professionalism and the professionalism, and also develop the strategies of the Arab human rights movement through training, through research. And now I think after all this legacy, we are trying now to be part of the renewal of our societies and trying to put human rights at the heart of what is happening now after the Tunisian revolution.